I want to talk about Sonic in a car. The concept of Sonic the Hedgehog racing feels like a complete no-brainer, but for some reason, when you look up the list of games he has where racing is the focus, you only see like 10 games. After 34 years, I think it would be safe to say that you should expect there to be more. I mean, it's Sonic the Hedgehog. Not only is speed like his thing, but he even races some of his enemies to defeat them. Sonic racing just sounds right. This all came to my little brain because of the new Sonic racing game Crossworlds coming out soon. And me being a die-hard Sonic fan while also only ever playing like 2 Sonic racing games my whole life, and being a YouTuber, I thought I would take it upon myself to play all the mainline Sonic racing games and make a tier list out of all of them. And I know I'm late on the tier list concept, but I don't care, so shut up. So let's start with the very beginning. First on the list of Sonic racing games is Sonic Drift. Released on the Game Gear, was Sonic's first ever time in a car. We don't count this. Or this. In this game, Sonic and friends are racing because Robotnik said that with his car, he is the fastest. And Sonic wasn't about to take that shit lying down, and got in his car that he somehow has and races Robotnik in order to show him that he'll never be faster than Sonic. Except for that time where he was faster than Sonic. Originally, Sonic Drift was released only in Japan, but after some time, finally came over to the West via game collections like the one I'm playing on, Sonic Origins Plus. I'm going to start with the good first. I like how Sonic looks in this game. I swear, these characters are having the time of their lives in these cars, man. Look at Amy drive by when she wins a race. It's adorable. And one time I played as Tails and got 3rd place, and I don't know, I think he has intentions. I don't know what they are, but they're freaking me out. I also like that when you pass someone, the character you're playing will wave at them as a polite substitute for giving them the finger, which I think is very cute. That's all the good I have. Everything else about this game, it's just bad, man. I mean, just look at it. Visually, it's a mess. Look at these pixels, man. I can't see anything in front of me. And yeah, you have a map that tells you where to go, but it's taking up half the screen space, which wouldn't even really be that big of a problem. This game is obviously based on the layout of Super Mario Kart, and the map being there was annoying, but you get kind of used to it because Mario Kart is working on the NES, which was hooked up to a TV. They had so much more power and screen space to work with, where Sonic Drift only has a 3-inch screen and the Game Gear hardware to work with. This game was doomed from the start, and that's just one problem. The music is horrible. It hurts my ears, and there are no songs that feel like they stood out. All of the songs kind of blended together to me. At one point, I truly thought that there was only one song in the game, just replaying over and over again, until I looked it up and saw that there actually were other songs, but they just suck. And then the tracks that you actually play on are so boring. Every track is incredibly basic and has nothing really going on in them, and only requires you to turn left or turn right, which is fine. It's a kart racer from 1994, so there's not a lot they could have done. And then the tracks have like 5 themes that they use for each map, which basically boils down to just different colors and nothing else. No track feels different from the others, which is a damn shame. I haven't even talked about the gameplay yet. The gameplay boils down to drive forward, turn, and I think drift. For the life of me, I could not figure out how to drift, or if I was doing it at all. For a game called Sonic Drift, not knowing how to drift is a problem. Making every turn feels like a gamble, if I'm actually going to make the turn, or if I'm going to hit my 5th pole on my way to the finish line. And then there are the items. There's a yellow spring that bounces you up, a red monitor that gives you a boost, and a blue monitor which gives you invincibility. And then there are also rings that you can collect, which activate your character's abilities, which I didn't know until I read the wiki. And that's it. I mean, yeah, there's not a lot to do in this game. There's not a lot of characters either. There's 4 characters: Sonic, Tails, Amy, and Robotnik. Each of them have a special ability. Apparently. I can only ever figure out Amy's, which is that she gets a boost at the start of a match. And I think Sonic gets a boost if you have 2 or more rings. I know I'm talking a lot about fucking Sonic Drift, but I did that because Sonic Drift 2 is pretty much the same game, and I want to get a lot of the info out now and just talk about what Sonic Drift 2 does differently. Anyway, putting this on the tier list, I don't know, I think I would give this like a D rank. It's a really bad game, horrible even, but I wanted to give it a little bit of leeway since, I don't know man, it's their first Sonic racing game, and I feel kind of bad shitting on the first release. Also, I know what true F tier is, and it's not this. You know it, I know it, we'll get there soon. Sonic Drift 2 is the embodiment of the phrase, same shit, different toilet. However, this toilet is like a better toilet. Like, it feels nicer to sit on. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. This game is mostly the same with some slight improvements that sound great, but it's not much at the same time. The first thing I noticed when starting a race was that they had more characters to choose. You now have Fang, Knuckles, and M Sonic, baby, let's go! Any game that has M Sonic is automatically a better game in my book. This time, there are more items on the field. Now we have mines, a reverse ball that makes the controls reversed, and a flashbang.
Think fast, Chuckle Nuts!
I guess it also has better tracks now too. The designs are better, I'll say, way more engaging of a race now, except for this tunnel track where I couldn't stop hitting the walls for some reason. And who had the bright idea to make a track where there's lightning causing the screen to go completely white for a second every 5 seconds? That's horrible. This is a horrible track. I hated this. They all still suffer from the poor render distance problem that makes it nearly impossible to go around corners reliably. At the same time, they did improve on the scenery at least. Sometimes you'll drive by some beach area and even have some ramps that I don't know the point of. Seriously, I don't think they do anything, which all makes it feel like the track is more thought out. There's a lot of bottomless pits now, which I guess is supposed to make the game feel a little bit more exciting, but ends up making the game just more annoying to play. So like, overall, I guess this is an improvement, but it's still Sonic Drift. I still don't like playing this game, but I would rather pick this one over the other one just because of its bigger roster, better maps, and more items. So I'll put it on D tier, but like higher D tier than Drift 1. Oh, hell yeah, dude. Let's get this out of the way. This game automatically gets a huge leg up for the music alone. I have never played this game until now, but I have always blasted this game's soundtrack in my car ever since I was able to drive alone and have no one judge me. Every single song slaps, dude. I love the soundtrack. No matter how many times I did the races trying to collect things, I was bumping to this music. If we were doing a tier list on the music in these games, Sonic R would be an S tier easy. The game though? Alright, let's talk about the game. When starting a race, the first thing you'll notice is the fact that in this game, most of the characters have no cars, except for Amy and Eggman, which makes no sense to me. I know the joke everyone makes about Sonic being in a car makes no sense when he should be racing on foot and just win. And I've never understood that joke because the answer has always been so simple to me. 1. To quote Sonic himself, he's in a car because it's cool.
Next question.
And 2, how would that be fair? Everyone's really excited to race and compete in their cars and Sonic just runs and beats them all in like 2 seconds? Done. Awesome. How is that fun? Sonic is all about having fun. He wouldn't do that! Anyway, my headcanon for this game is that Knuckles broke Sonic's legs off screen and now they all have to compete on foot somehow. Before I talk about the gameplay though, I have to say, these character models, I love them, man. They look so goofy and so funny. I don't even really have anything to say about them other than I just love the graphics of this game so much. It's like weirdly comforting and wholesome. I don't know, but whatever. Anyway, let's move on. I picked the Grand Prix mode, selected my character, started the race, and oh my god, this feels so weird. The characters have this sort of tank physics going on while also feeling that they're running on ice the entire time. It's weird, but surprisingly, I was able to get used to it pretty quickly. I started picking up on alternate paths in this track, which these tracks are filled with, by the way, while I was trying to get comfortable with the controls. Every character has different abilities again in this game. Sonic can double jump, Tails can fly for a bit, Knuckles can glide, Amy can drive over water, and Eggman can shoot homing missiles. The tracks are really fun and colorful and have a lot of different pathways you can find with little collectibles. Sometimes it's really fun to find a new pathway that leads to the goal in a different way, and other times it can lead to a dead end. So, That's pretty annoying. There were times where I would get so turned around that I unknowingly started going in the opposite direction. However, it's really fun to play as different characters and start seeing the track differently. For example, I played as Sonic for what I would say is the most part, and I avoided water at all cost. But when I played as Tails, I saw water and only saw it as a way forward, skipping some of the track. I think that's a really cool part of the game where the character you pick and the track that you're on really kind of work together, and you get to start seeing the map in different ways that other players wouldn't see. There are unlockable characters as well, which is great. You have Metal Sonic, Metal Knuckles, Tails Dog, which if you grew up with Sonic in the early 2000s, then seeing this guy probably gives you a mini panic attack, Egg Robo, and Super Sonic. Unlocking these guys is pretty hard, but it's not impossible. For all the characters except Super Sonic, you have to pick up these coins scattered across the track, and after doing so, you have to win at least 3rd place. After that, you have to unlock the character in a 1v1. If you win, you get that character, but if you fail, you have to do the whole process again. It's annoying, but it's not impossible like I said, and you only have to get 3rd place to even get a chance to race them. Super Sonic, though, is annoying as hell. You have to find the Chaos Emeralds. 2 of them are in each map, and after doing that, you have to get 1st place. Meaning, you have to go out of your way to do some random bullshit to get a Chaos Emerald and then crawl your way back to 1st place, because God knows you were not in 1st place when you were just waiting for the Chaos Emerald to drop. Thankfully, after you do that, you have the Emerald forever, but it's annoying as hell. I would show you Super Sonic in action, but I actually lost all the footage and can't be fucked to do that again. I was trying to make space on my computer for the recordings of some of the later games, and I accidentally threw most of the Sonic R away, and I didn't realize it until I was writing the script. So here's the only footage I have left of me losing to Metal Sonic. Overall, I actually really enjoyed my time playing this game. It definitely has problems with the Chaos Emeralds and the whole, control situation, but it's really fun and I can forgive some of its shortcomings. So this is gonna go in B tier, basically on vibes and fun alone. You ever just see a game and think, oh yeah, this game fucks. I'll be straight up right now, this game is not perfect. It has some issues that I really don't like, but what it does right, oh, it does fucking right. I need to start at the beginning or else I'm just gonna be all over the place. Okay, so the moment you boot up this game, you're greeted with this amazing opening, both visually and like auditorily or whatever. It instantly shows you what this game is all about. Style. This game oozes with style. The characters have style, the tracks have style, you have style while you play the game. It's so good. Sonic Riders hands down has the best gameplay so far. No one's in a car or on foot this time because now everyone is riding extreme gear, which is basically just really, really cool hoverboards. And with this new extreme gear, everybody gets some awesome new clothes. The characters get some new boots and some new little goggles and glasses. It's not much, but the change is simple enough and made a huge difference and has become iconic. People still mod these character models into different games because they look so good, dude. Back on topic though, the gameplay, like I said, is the best gameplay so far. It sounds complicated, but I promise you it's really not. In Riders, you ride on your extreme gear and have to manage a gauge at the bottom right that is filled with air. This air is basically your fuel that allows you to boost, drift, and even hit enemies if you boost into them. However, if you run out of air, you have to run on foot until you find a pit stop that refills your air or do a sick flip off a ramp. To keep your air filled as much as possible while in the race, you can do a few things. If you're playing as a speed character, you can grind on rails giving you air. If you're playing as a power character, you you can punch certain objects, and if you're playing as a flying character, you can gain air by flying through floating boost pads. There's also this trick system where if you jump off a ramp, you can move the right stick and do as many tricks as you can, with unique animations for each one. And if you land well after doing those tricks, you'll not only get a boost in air, but you'll get a boost in speed. The more tricks you do, the more speed and air you receive. And more importantly, the cooler you look. This mechanic is so fun to execute every single time and has convinced me that every single Sonic racing game needs a trick system. The Sonic games are all about style and doing things in the most fun and efficient way, and I think the racing games should express that too, and Sonic Riders does it perfectly. Something else that completely sets this game apart from all the others we've looked at today is that this game has an actual playable story mode. Riders does what Sonic games did a lot at the time, which is have you play the story through different characters' perspectives. Riders is split into two perspectives, the Sonic and Friends perspective and the Babylon Rogues, who feature a new set of characters. Wave, the team's technician, Storm, the powerhouse, and Jet, who is known as the best Extreme Gear rider, making him the fastest. Wait a second. The story, honestly, just throws you straight into it, dude. There is no explanation of what the Extreme Gear is, where the characters are, or even how to play. They throw you to the damn wolves in this game, man. It's barbaric. The story basically consists of a bunch of races, who would have guessed, with very little through lines connecting them all together. At one moment, you'll be racing in a city, and the next second, you're in a jungle with no idea as to how you got there. And the actual story itself is fun, but it's all over the place.
Rogues incurred the wrath of the gods because of their crimes.
Like, what is...
The island was cast-
Stop! You have people bullying Tails, Sonic exploding, Chaos Emeralds being used as entrance fees, magic cubes, magic carpets, and by the end, genies. That's pretty cool. It's a bonkers ass story, but it's fun and entertaining, so I don't know, it's not that bad, I guess. But the races themselves, oh my god, it can be killer. Some of these races took more than a few tries, and that last real race took me, and I wish I was joking, an hour and a half. I just could not beat this one damn race. It's not like there's one character in each race that's really good and the rest are just there to fill in the spaces. No. Everybody in this game is great at riding Extreme Gear. Amazing even. You wouldn't believe the skill that these guys have. I couldn't believe it. I was going nuts. Riders does not hold your hand in the slightest and expects you to learn how to play this game damn near perfectly. And I love it. The rush I got after beating each race was addicting, dude. I just wanted to keep playing. It was so good. Beating the main story unlocks characters like Shadow, Rouge, and Cream. Completing the missions, on the other hand, unlocks characters like Ooh La La, Knights, and Eye. Eye on Extreme Gear? Hell, Eye alone makes me want to complete the mission mode, bro. Let's do this! I did not obtain Eye. I got so bored of these missions so quickly. You have to do this many tricks, hit these many items, and you have to collect junk. And do this over and over again for 100 missions. It's maddening for someone like me who can't focus on one thing for too long. 100 missions? What do you think I am, a YouTuber? Well, I'm still not gonna do it. So, whatever, I gave up and resorted to just watching someone else play II while I played with an unplugged controller. Now, this is worth it. Anyway, this game gets an easy A tier, not S tier, simply because while I had so much fun with this game, I can see them making the next one even better. Hey, so a quick question. Who signed off on the idea of making everything worse? So this game decided to make everything that I liked about the last game and make it just bad. The music is worse. I'm not bumping my head to any of these songs. The gameplay is worse. It's a lot less engaging and kind of slow now. And the story is still goofy like the last game, but it's even crazier now, which I felt like was kind of hard to do. To sum up the story into one paragraph, everybody important finds a bracelet thing that dropped from space that was made by the ancient Babylonians, who are now aliens, by the way, so just letting you know that. This bracelet allows the user to control gravity for a bit before shooting them forward in whatever direction they want. These bracelets are now signaling to the main bracelet, which when brought together summons the Babylonian Garden from the last game, which now holds a core unit that is sucking up everything around it like a black hole. To stop it, the characters must must go into the garden and destroy the core in a boss fight that is so boring it literally put me to sleep. After that, Sonic and crew drive off into what looks like the city from the Blob. Jet calls out to his lover Sonic and they both race off on their extreme gear. It's bonkers, barely matters, it's like 2 hours long. But overall, it has its moments, and I had a fun time with it. I don't know why Sega thought we always needed a big story for every Sonic game, even the spin-off racing ones, but I can appreciate the dedication they had for the world building, even if I don't particularly like it. Moving on to the gameplay, they butchered it. Yeah, it sucks now. It feels like in every way they could have made the original writers better, they decided to make it horrible. No more air tricks that allow you to show off some skill and has a risk and reward factor to it. Now, you just have to jump off a ramp at the right time, and depending on where you jumped off the ramp, you get a specific score. Gone is the fun moment-to-moment gameplay, and in with the slower movement and drift system that completely stops you in your tracks to boost forward. Gone is the fun track design, and in comes the boring tracks that have long straight lines for you to use your new gravity system that shoots you forward in a straight line. Other than that, it's like the original Riders where you have multiple characters to unlock and have mission mode to complete. This game is just a huge disappointment, and there's not a lot to talk about at this point other than it really fumbles the bag as a sequel. I say as a sequel because if this was your first Riders game, you might like it a lot. Because it was my first Riders game. I thought this game was so cool when I was a kid. It was the first and only Riders game I played, so I had nothing else to really compare it to. So as a standalone, I think it has style and is a lot more accessible to general audiences while keeping its core systems like the trick, air, and look. I just think it's a big letdown as a sequel to a game that has so much potential. I'd give it like a high. I'd give it a high C tier. It's not bad, but it's definitely not that good. Also, why does Rouge do that? She doesn't need to do that. Why is she doing that? Sonic Free Riders is a dumpster fire of a game. Free Riders uses the Xbox Kinect, which was the big thing the Xbox was trying to push at the time that never really took off. You are the controller with the Kinect, hence the name of this game being called Free Riders, since I guess you're supposed to feel free while playing this, while all I felt was anger, frustration, and guilt for digging out this game from my sister's house for this video. But I like to be a nice guy, so let's start with the good. Okay, now the bad. This game is just a monster to control. At first, I felt like things were going fine, and maybe this wouldn't be so bad. But then it all went downhill. I don't know if it's the Kinect or what, but this game could barely read my movements. If I had an item that I wanted to throw or just use, it would end up with me flailing my arms around like a goddamn idiot. There are grind rails and flying boosts that you can use, but I never got the chance to do them because the game would not know what I was trying to do. Then you have the jumps that you actually have to jump into the air to do so. So if you live in an apartment building like me, make sure you apologize to the neighbors below you before you start playing so they don't make a noise complaint later in the day. There's a story mode, which I was honestly really surprised by, but it's just a bunch of still images of the characters talking and you have to do some races. Then Eggman set this whole thing up, I think. I don't know, man. I was barely paying attention after wiping the sweat off that this game gave me. Also, the characters when they talk aren't even visible. Like they have like this weird CRTV effect over the screen the entire time. Why? Like it looks bad. I like the art in this game. I think the art looks cool. I like the colors. The colors are really vibrant in this game. I love that. So why not just bring the color out in the forefront? What is this filter? I hate this. I'm gonna be honest, I barely played any of this because the last race I did, Sonic was facing the opposite side of me and would not register any of my movements, and I basically just cheered him on for the rest of the race. The best thing I can say about this game, like I said, is the colors. I think the colors look nice, and the theme song is catchy as hell. I always like that song. This is the other Sonic racing game I actually played as a kid, and as a 10-year-old, I fucking hated it. I couldn't even like it because it's Sonic. I genuinely thought this was just really, really bad, and I was too embarrassed to ever play it in front of my family because of how bad it was. F tier. Fuck this game. an actual fucking kart racer. And a kart racer it is. This game is a tried and true kart racer with not a lot going on in it mechanically. You pick a racer, you get into a race, and you play a bare bones kart racer that you can find almost anywhere. It's not bad at all, it's just pretty generic. It's definitely better than Shrek Racing, and I'd say it's like the same level of fun I had with Mario Kart Wii, but not as good as Mario Kart Wii, if that makes sense. There's a lot of characters spanning from all of Sega's IPs, and not just Sonic this time, which is great. We have Ii, Amigo, Beat, Billy Hatcher, Ooh La La, those guys, and even these guys. It's cool. And with every race you finish, you get Sega Miles, which you can use as currency to unlock new characters, music, and tracks. Speaking of tracks, the tracks in this game are pretty fun. There's nothing crazy track design wise, you get little secret passages here and there that you can take, but the look of it is really vibrant and diverse. Since the game isn't just Sonic Racing, but instead Sega Racing, they're able to have a lot more variety in track themes. You have a Tokyo track from Jet Set Radio, a Haunted Mansion track from Typing of the Dead, and an LSD trip from Samba de Amigo. And the music is so good. Granted, a lot of the music is just taken from the games they come from, but hey, good music is good music. And with the last two games having bad to fine at best music, it's a breath of fresh air. Like I said earlier, the gameplay is fine, but has a lot to be desired, especially as a Sonic racing game. In my opinion, a racing game that features Sonic should be all about speed and should be constantly rewarding you for going fast. This game feels like I'm barely cracking 60 an hour. And the trick system is whatever, to be honest. When you're in the air, you can press a button and do a little trick, and when you land, you get a boost. It's just clicking a button at the right time, and the characters don't even do anything cool when you do a trick. They just get on their car and get right back down. There's no flair, there's no style. I don't know, maybe writers just really spoiled me. Man, that game was good. Anyway, I'm putting Sega All-Stars on C tier just because I think the game is a good baseline kart racer. It's not gonna blow your mind or anything, but it's better than Garfield Kart, but not as good as Mario Kart Wii, if that makes sense. I don't know why I keep thinking that, but yeah, maybe they make the sequel better. I don't know. I love this game. Fucking S tier, by the way. No contest. This game is so good. You want good, fun graphics and color? Boom. Color and fun everywhere. You want fun track design? Boom. Almost every track can have multiple different routes that players can take, and most tracks even transform mid-race. You tired of just driving cars? Fuck it. The car can turn into a boat, and fuck it, you go play mode, play! No Mario Kart bullshit where you glide in the air and classify it as flying, or go underwater and have propellers behind your ass, and you call it an underwater track. Fuck that. We transform in this game. This game did exactly what I wanted Zero Gravity to do with Riders, which is to make every aspect of the original game, good and bad, better in every way. Sumo Digital, who made the game, by the way, shout out to the GOATs, took the original All-Stars Racing and became fucking gods of game design and made the best kart racer I think I've ever played. I genuinely stopped making this video for a few days because I was just playing the game non-stop. When I was playing, I didn't even take notes. It took me 2 days to take notes because I didn't want to stop. It was so much fun. Transformed is obviously built upon the foundation of the original All-Stars, and it shows in the best of ways. The basic driving controls feel great, and the tracks that they reuse from the first game are still good, even if they don't utilize the transforming aspect of. Loads of characters come back that you can unlock from playing the admittedly kind of bare bones single player mode that is just races and missions over and over again, which is fine. I liked it. I don't know what else you can really do in a racing game other than do races, but it just gets a little bit repetitive and there's nothing, kind of egging you on. And it just kind of felt like sometimes we were repeating the stages a little bit, but I didn't really mind it because the game is just really fun to play. And the music is just so good and fits the vibe of the game perfectly. There's a trick system in this game that I think is the perfect marriage of All-Stars' simple system and Riders' complex one, where you can jump off a ramp and move the stick in one of 4 directions in order to build a boost, maxing out at 3 levels. And when you land, you boost like crazy. Get ready for me to say boost a lot, by the way. And remember when I said that I think a racing game that features Sonic should be all about speed and should reward the player for going fast? Or were you on your phone when I said that? I made this video for you to watch, because if you want to talk about speed, Oh, this game fucks, dude. This game is all about speed. You'll be drifting to build up boost while hitting a boost off of a ramp, doing a trick or two to get an extra boost, and landing into the water, which gives you a boost where someone else has just landed, making waves so that you can jump off of that wave and do a trick in the air and land to get into a boost, into another boost. There were 3 boosts that I skipped at the end, by the way. I just didn't want to get annoying by saying it. I can literally talk about this game for like an hour, I think. So I'm just going to give my closing thoughts here and now. All Stars Transformed, I think, truly perfected the kart racing genre. The music is great. The characters are varied and fun to play as. The tracks are insanely well designed and give a lot of room for players to play how they want. And the gameplay is some of the best I've ever played. Sumo Digital did such a fantastic job, and with them being the ones to develop the next Sonic racing game, I guess you could say I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty disappointed. So Team Sonic Racing kind of says everything about itself in the title alone. The game is a pretty normal kart racer other than the fact that it's all about teamwork. When racing, you will be in a team of 2 other people who can contribute to each other winning the race. To do this, you can offer items to each other while racing, and when you're the furthest ahead in your team, you'll leave this trail where you are driving for your team members to use and gain boost and slingshot off in order to get further ahead in the race. And honestly, it's fine. I mean, it's not the most in-depth system, but I don't really mind it, to be honest. The real problem with this game is that it's boring. The game is built on the foundation that is All Stars, again, just like Transformed was, but it strips itself of all the fun you could have had in Transformed for slower and more reliable races. There's not a lot of speed boost and not a lot of extra paths that you can go down either, making the races a lot more boring to navigate through. And I know the reason they did this was to make sure that you can play with a team. You have to be able to help your teammates out, and because of that, you can't go off into cool, difficult routes, since who knows if your teammates have the skill to do that too. The items are boring and don't change the race too much because you all have to be able to give the items to each other, so the item has to be usable in almost every scenario. This makes the game just not as fun. It's not bad per se. I can see people really enjoying this game with friends, but as someone who can't convince anyone to play this game with them, it's a pretty boring time. Team Sonic Racing also has a story mode that doesn't take itself seriously and has a horrible pacing issue. There's this Tanuki named Dodonpa who invites everybody important to race in his Grand Prix as teams and just wants to watch. I guess, like, I don't know, maybe he has a cup chair or something. They go along with this plan because, I mean, what else are they gonna do? Not race? Come on, be realistic. Throughout the story, you'll find more characters and teams participating in the race, like Team Sonic with Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, and Team Rose with Amy, Big, and Omochao. What? No Cream. Why? Even if Cream couldn't drive, which makes no sense because she's been riding Extreme Gear for a while, why would you replace her with Omochao? Who likes Omochao? Whatever. Okay, we got Team Dark, which is cool. I love seeing Shadow, Rouge, and Omega together. It's always fun. Team Eggman with Eggman, Metal Sonic, and Zavok. Why is he here? I'm not even saying that because me and everybody else doesn't like him, but I mean, like, why is he working with Eggman? This dude enslaved Zavok's people. He should hate him. But fine, whatever. Villains working together, I can stretch my disbelief and just see that happening. The last team we have is Silver, Blaze, and Vector. What the fuck? Why? If Vector is here, why not just have Team Chaotix? You know, the Team Vector is actually on. He looks so out of place here. Whatever. You know what? I don't care. I don't even really like this game. What's their team name? Team Vector? What? He's not. How? Why? That doesn't make any sense. I apologize. I got a little emotional there. I don't like this game. The story is boring and so repetitive. You'll play the same tracks over and over again, doing individual races, missions, and Grand Prix on the same tracks you just played on. I will say I do like the interactions the characters have in this game, except for Sonic and Shadow's dialogue. This is back when Sega really wanted Shadow to be a poor cardboard cutout edgelord version of Vegeta from Dragon Ball, which they failed at doing because Vegeta is not like this at all, especially not anymore. I also really like the renders they use for the characters in this game. They look like taller versions of the Sonic Rumble characters, which is still not out. Who knows when that's happening, by the way. been delayed like 3 times. Other than that, the game's fine. It's fun at times and isn't the worst thing in the world, but I wouldn't recommend it at all unless you want to just turn your brain off and just race with a buddy or something. I don't know. I'd give this like a D tier, I think. Not bad, but not very fun, and a really disappointing follow-up, especially considering the developers. I don't think it's Sumo Digital's fault, by the way, like especially not in the sense of talent. It's just one of those games where the concept itself is going to dictate how you make it. So I think they did the best that they could, which is very admirable. And that's every mainline Sonic racing game. I know there are a few that I missed, like the Sonic Rivals games and the Sonic Kart games, but from my research, I couldn't find Sonic Kart anywhere, and Sonic Kart 3D is literally impossible to play since there's no download link anywhere. And the Sonic Rivals games are just 2D racers where you run and race an opponent. They seem fun, I guess, as like a little distraction, but like, they're not in a car, so I didn't really count it. And here is the complete tier list of games. I feel pretty good about them, but you let me know what you think. What's your favorite Sonic racing game and why do you like it? I'd love to read what you have to say in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more from me and if you want to make me feel good. I'll see you next time. Bye! Hey, thank you guys so much for watching. I know I say this almost every video, but this took a lot longer than I thought it would. But I'm here now, and to celebrate us getting to 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to be answering some of your guys' questions that you guys left me. Soph Does It All asks, what games are the most nostalgic for you? I guess I would say probably Kingdom Hearts, like the entire series, not just Kingdom Hearts 1, and the Xenoblade games. Oh, and Halo. The Halo games, the original trilogy, oh my god. Yeah, those games are probably the most nostalgic for me. I always like to go back to those whenever I can. Jama71981 asks, what's a game you wish you can experience for the first time again? I would say Xenoblade 1 specifically. If I can experience one game again, it would be Xenoblade 1. Not only is it such a great story and I love the combat, I love exploring the world, I adore that game. I would like to replay it for the first time on good hardware because the first time I ever played it was on the 3DS and that was a nightmare. If you've seen it, you know it's crazy, but I was so into it, man. It was so good. Our boy Sins asks, are you planning on making YouTube a full-time thing in the future, or is it only a hobby? I would absolutely like to make this a full-time thing. This has been the most fun I've ever had doing anything creative in my life, and if I can make this an actual job and an actual full-time thing, dude, I would go crazy. That'd be so cool. But yeah, to answer your question in short, yes, I would love to make this a full-time thing. Thanks for Nothing asks, do you have a game that you like to revisit once a year? Top candidates for me are Minecraft and Stardew Valley. For a while, I was replaying Xenoblade 2 once a year. That was just like such a comfort game for me, and I really liked playing it. Other than that, I would say probably Halo 1. It's not my favorite Halo, but I do just love it. There's a certain vibe about Halo 1. Oh my god, Metroid Dread. Metroid Dread. I play that game once a year, and I beat it on Dread mode one time like 2 years ago. I adore that game. It's like one of my favorite games of all time. And Soph Does It All comes in with another question, ending it with, what did you have for breakfast 2 days ago? And let me tell you, not only did I have Eggo waffles for breakfast 2 days ago, but I have had Eggo waffles for breakfast for the past 2 weeks in a row every morning. I'm in a huge Eggo waffle phase right now. It might be a problem. Anyways, thank you guys so much for the questions. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions, you can ask in the comments below or anywhere and I'll answer them. I would love to make this a reoccurring thing at the end of the videos. Anyways, thank you guys. I love you.